There's a lot of questions when it comes to cargo bikes and how to research them and which one you are going to eventually purchase. We've talked a lot about cargo bikes in the past, whether they're three-wheeled or trikes, as well as long johns as the one before me or midtails. We never really dived into what separates an acoustic versus an e-assist cargo bike, and this video is going to be all about my first-hand account of starting off with a wonderful acoustic cargo bike and then eventually knowing what my needs were and transitioning off to a dedicated e-assist cargo bike. If you're a frequent viewer of this channel, you might remember me from the Montreal-Brompton video, as well as some Instagram reels here and there. If not, let me introduce myself. My name is Kevin, and I run the channel Kevin Goes, where I share my travel experiences, whether it's by train or bike. Give my channel a follow, as I'm coming out pretty soon with a one charge, one battery Toronto loop ride, at least around most of Toronto. So be sure to subscribe to that and check that out as soon as that comes out. I'm also the content creator for most of Curbside Cycle's video and photography needs. So if you catch me in store creating anything for them, be sure to say hey and pick my brain about some of the things that I've covered, both on this channel as well as Curbside's Instagram. Unlike our previous videos, this one is going to be more based on concept than specifically about any brand. Partly because of education, and another part because Curbside sells several different brands of either acoustic or e-assist cargo bikes. And this was also a great time to share my personal experience of having an acoustic and e-assist cargo bike. First, don't get me wrong, my acoustic cargo bike is amazing. I absolutely love its simplicity, that it doesn't have a motor, it doesn't have a battery. It's simply the purest form of bike you can have for a cargo bike. And one of the great benefits is it was designed by Larry vs. Harry, and it is super lightweight and super fast. A big reason why I chose an acoustic cargo bike to begin with was its simplicity and its cost. Let's start with simplicity. Since there's no battery, there's no motor, there's no anything, this was a simple bike for me to repair in my own garage or my front porch or wherever I choose. I didn't have to limit myself by the tools or the space or even having to buy expensive components if they tend to wear out or break. And that was it. As simple as that. It literally operates the same way as a road bike, a mountain bike, a kid's bike. It's just big. You might think it is intimidating when it comes to these big bikes, but really, the back half is exactly like any other bike. You might have to deal with some new things like an internal gear hub or a steering arm, but a couple YouTube videos really clears it up. And best of all, you might already have all the tools available in your own home, garage, wherever, when it comes time to fixing your bike. Now, when it comes to cost, this is a big factor. The price difference between an e-assist cargo bike versus an acoustic, it's massive. And that might even be an understatement. It's a matter of thousands upon thousands of dollars. And it's best to really have your research down and figure out what kind of cargo you're going to move, what kind of terrain you're going to be biking in, as well as what kind of security you're going to need. Now, this kind of brings us back to simplicity. Depending on your city's infrastructure or city planning, you might be able to get away with an acoustic bike. That's kind of how I did it in the beginning. And, if it's super flat, like a Midwest city or the Plains, or even Toronto's relatively flat, but we do have some pretty intense grades when it comes to the ravines and park system. But if you're going to be carrying not a whole ton of weight, maybe a kid, maybe a dog, you might be okay with an acoustic cargo bike if everything's flat, pretty close by, and you don't expect to do any major travels with the bike. The thing you really have to factor in, once you begin stacking on the weight, the cargo, whatever it is, it becomes a huge burden on your physical strength. You can honestly only push so much that your body allows, and that's one of the biggest limiting factors about an acoustic cargo bike. I don't know about you, but I'm not too jazzed about being completely exhausted from pushing around a heavy cargo bike for a short distance and being exhausted for the rest of the day. So this finally brings us to the electric cargo bike. Again, we have nothing against acoustic cargo bikes. They have their place, they have their people, they're amazing. And if you come to Curbside, you'll notice a little bit of a trend. All of them have something called a mid-motor mount, something like that. It allows the rear wheel to be either an internal gear hub, a 10 or 11 speed external drivetrain, really anything you want that suits your needs. But in general, with the brands that Curbside sells, you're going to have the options of incredibly high quality internal gear hubs or external drivetrain systems. But that also kind of begs the question, why didn't I go with a conversion kit? Well, the reason's kind of simple. Many of the brands that you find on Amazon or Alibaba or Temu are of really extremely low quality. They also require you to be your own mechanic because many shops don't want to put these low quality components on your bike. And this is a view that both myself, Curbside Cycle, and many other reputable bike shops hold. And maybe you've already had one and you might have taken it to one of these shops and they kind of just reject you. And that's kind of telling about these e-bike conversion kits. The other big point about why conversion kits just suck is your bike shop can't order these parts. They're not going to look for this online for you. They want to stock reputable brands with great high quality parts such as Bosch or Shimano. And then it also comes down to huge liability and legal concerns. Many of the motors sold on Amazon or Temu, they are overpowered, they aren't street legal, and they're downright dangerous with the battery technology that they might use. They just might not be checked or regulated. So you have low quality parts and components, you have legal issues. So no, going the way of the conversion kit, it's just not feasible for most people. Now, if you're quite the tinkerer and bike mechanic yourself, and you know the risks and all the red flags, by all means, just don't tell me or the bike shop about that. Now with that out of the way, buying a purpose-built e-cargo bike with the mid-motor and the amazing internal gear hubs and belts or high-end external drivetrain systems, it's just works. It works flawlessly. And to stay on topic, what ultimately led me to going the way of the e-cargo bike? And simply, I got tired of being tired. I was tired of being exhausted after loading pounds after pounds on my cargo bike when I need to move my video gear, lumber for a fire, you name it. There's nothing worse than trudging along less than 20 kilometers an hour, maybe not even 10, and just struggling to get up a hill. Heck, you might even have to hop off and push the damn bike up the hill because you have too much weight and your physical strength just can't do it. It just straight up was not a fun time to ride a cargo bike anymore. So if you've gathered that having an e-assist cargo bike will open up possibilities and make the ride much more enjoyable, save up for that e-cargo bike of your dreams. But on the flip side, if you know you're just going to carry a small to moderate amount of cargo, live in the plains or a Midwestern city where it's generally really flat, and the city planning of your city just allows you to go in between places fairly quickly, the Acoustic might be a choice for you. For me, the choice was simple. For what I do for work, creating videos for Curbside Cycle, all the recreational activities I do with my friends, such as carrying lumber for fires, it was a no-brainer for me that it was time to do the upgrade. As I said earlier, I was tired of being tired, and now the e-cargo bike offers up so much more, plus all the energy that I could possibly need to continue on with my day. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, please give us a like, comment, and subscribe for more videos about cargo bikes, city bikes, and folding bikes. Until the next time.